Thanks for watching another Cato Outdoors training video. We'd like to remind all of you that training your dog shouldn't be intimidating, scary, frustrating, or exhausting. If you go into each session with a positive mindset, looking for small improvements, we promise you'll have more fun and see more results in the long run. So get out and spend some time with your dog, even if it's only for a few minutes. You're going to make mistakes, and so will your dog, but you're both going to get better in the end. The draw whistle is a command I like to use when upland hunting to make sure that I'm keeping the dog at a good distance from me so that any birds that it produces will be within gun range. Now, frequently what I see people do when their dog gets too far away from them, whether they're hunting or they're at the park or just outside somewhere, is they'll blow a recall whistle or they'll call the dog in. But as soon as the dog gets within a reasonable range, they let the dog go back to what it was doing. And this creates a problem because now that dog is starting to understand that sometimes the recall means to come all the way in and sometimes it means to come in halfway. And now that dog is going to start deciding whether it wants to come in all the way or if it wants to come in halfway. That's not any good because we want that recall whistle or the recall command to always end with the dog at our feet looking at us. So that means if we want a command where the dog is only pulled in halfway and then goes back to hunting, we need a separate command, not the recall command. So what I do is I use a recall whistle, and all it is a soft, long pull on the whistle, and then I use my hand as well overlaid on the whistle to just suck the dog in. And when it gets into a distance that I want, then I just cast it off from there and we go back to hunting. And I do this in a very mechanical way at the start when I'm teaching a young dog how to do it. I will put my 2 Cato boards off to either side, and then I put one farther out. And I put the dog on that farther out point, and I'll suck it into the point that I want using that draw whistle, and then I'm going to cast it off to a Cato board, give it a couple of casts, and then reward it with a retrieve. Later on, when I go out in the field, because of mechanically teaching that drill in the backyard with Cato boards, now when I go out in the field, that dog is going to fully understand what the draw whistle means. They understand that it means to come in as far as I want and then cast off and go back to hunting. And it's not confused at all with the recall whistle, which means to come all the way into my feet. So let me show you what that looks like with Susie in the backyard. Place, up. First, I'll demonstrate the recall whistle, which is a series of toots. When I do toot, toot, toot on the whistle, I expect that dog to come all the way in, all the way to my feet. It should never stop short. It should never be able to come in halfway and then go back to hunting. If I do a recall whistle, it has to terminate with the dog right here with me. So first I'll show that with Susie. Good girl. Good girl. Let's go. That was the recall whistle. Now I'll show the draw whistle. Place. One toot on the whistle to sit. Now the draw whistle is, I'll overlay it with my hand, so you'll see my hand drop lower and kind of pull her in, and then I'll also pull her in with the whistle. When she gets even with the 2 Cato boards that are on my left and on my right, I'll cast her to one of those Cato boards, then cast her to the other one on the other side, and then at that point I'll give her a retrieve for accomplishing the task. Place. Place. Susie. Good girl. Good girl. Here you go. Give. Good. Get off of me. Place. Place. Do that one more time. Only this time I will send her to my right instead of to my left, just to make sure she's fully understanding what I'm asking of her here. Place. Place. Susie. Good girl. Good girl.